a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
You know, said Phineas Nigellus, even more loudly than Harry, this is precisely why I loathed being a teacher. Young people are so infernally convinced that they are absolutely right about everything. Has it not occurred to you, my poor puffed-up popinjay, that there might be an excellent reason why the headmaster of Hogwarts is not confiding every tiny detail of his plans to you? Have you never paused, while feeling so hard done by, to note that following Dumbledore's orders has never yet led you into harm? No. No, like all young people, you are quite sure that you alone feel and think. You alone recognize danger. You alone are the only one clever enough to realize what the Dark Lord may be planning. Welcome to the restricted section where it's all Harry Potter all the time, for better or for worse. If you haven't done the reading, don't worry, we did it for you. Here's what we're talking about this week. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 23, Christmas on the Closed Ward. Fuck, I did not write an intro for this, so I'm going to do it on the fly. It's Christmas in this chapter, gang. Oh my god, I haven't read this in a couple weeks. And they're at St. Mungo's. Oh, this is the one where they... Oh god, this one is really tragic. This is the one where they, first of all, come across Gilderoy Lockhart, who is unwell. And then they also come across Neville and Augusta visiting Neville's parents, Frank and Alice, in the hospital. They are also not doing well. And basically, I think this is just like a really sad chapter. So, Merry Christmas. Welcome to the restricted section where I forgot to write an intro for this chapter. My co-host today is from the closed ward herself, Haley. Say hello to the listeners, Haley.
Hello, listeners. I just learned joined up writing.
Oh. And our special guest today is none other than the legendary Mott's. Say hello to the listener, Mott's.
Hello. Legendary.
I don't know if you caught, I accidentally said listener, like one listener.
All singular listener.
And the listener is Mott's.
Well, it's not wrong. And I will say, I have never learned joint up writing, so...
You don't need to.
I very technically learned it and then unlearned it when I found out that everyone who told me this is all you're going to be allowed to write with for the rest of your life was completely wrong.
I write in joined up writing if you consider the fact that I write in print very quickly, so all the letters stick together.
There you go.
As joined up writing.
This is the compromise we make.
I do love signing my name in cursive, though, because my name is Christina Lee Khan, and, like, damn, I go so hard with that L on the Lee. It's like, whoop, bow! It's curvy. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Mods, how have you been since the last time you were here?
I mean, it's been fine. Like, it's...
Okay. You don't have to give us any more than that if you don't want to.
I mean, like,
you
honestly,
look great.
Not that much has been going on.
I feel you. I hate when people say, how's it going? I'm like, nothing has... I'm 31. I feel like nothing has changed in years. Like, I have nothing. I have a new job, and it's not even interesting to talk about. Like, I just do it. I know that everyone knows this already, but in case you forgot, Mott's has been a guest on this podcast many a time, including Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 9, Part 2, Grim Defeat. That was back in February of 2021.
Quidditch chapter.
Quidditch chapter. He also joined us to talk about Puffs last summer, which was literally such a fun episode. That was me, Mott's, and Leela, aka the Puffs. You also came on to talk about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 1, The Riddle House. That's a good one.
With Haley.
That is a good one.
Yeah, with Haley.
Hey.
That was last September. Nope. It was September 2021.
What even is time?
I have no idea what's happening.
Wait, what? Oh god, what? Wasn't it?
I keep forgetting that 2022 happened.
Yeah.
Good for you. And then if you are a patron, a $5 and up tier patron over on our Patreon, you have heard hardest trivia ever with Mott's. The only time I've ever been kind of mad at you.
I still think about it sometimes.
That was a joy. If you want to see me, Haley, and Andrew absolutely schooled in Harry Potter trivia, but in a way that makes you mad, not happy, please sign up for our Patreon.
More to the point, if you've ever done Harry Potter trivia and been annoyed at how easy it was, this is the one you've been looking for.
I still say that we need to post it on our blog because like I've Googled like super hard Harry Potter trivia and it's like never hard. It's like, who's the guy with all of the cauldrons that smells like cigars? It's like, this isn't hard for me. Mutz, we're so glad to have you back. I love having you on the show. But you did have a lot of options for what chapter you could have picked from this book. And you picked this one. Chapter 23, Christmas on the Clothes Ward. Can you defend yourself and your choices, please, for a moment?
No. I have no defense.
I respect that.
I kid you not. I picked this chapter back when I first came on this podcast.
So just feeling masochistic at the time?
Mott likes to
Honestly,
poke
probably
the bruises of the Harry Potter saga. He's like, well, this one hurts. Let's look deeper.
It might be the Lockhartness of this chapter because it's the only chapter left that has Lockhart since, I've missed out on Chamber.
And it's upsetting. Like, you are at the end of Chamber of Secrets, you're like, this fucking guy, like, he deserves the worst. But then, like, 3 years later, you have forgotten about him, and you read this chapter, and you're like, oh.
Why?
Oh, no. Oh. Oh, God, no. I told Mats before we started recording that I listened to the audiobook of this with my husband, Sean. And I was like, you're going to want to listen to this one, because none of this is in the movie at all. And he was like, what is happening right now? Like, what are we doing?
This is a hospital visit. You've never been in a hospital?
They're all like this. They're all just awful.
Yeah. This chapter does have one of my favorite lines in, I think, the entire series. So there's that.
Okay.
We'll
get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Haley, are you drinking right now?
No, I've just got a water bottle, but I have been... I wake up late all of the time, especially the weekends. It's the weekend. That doesn't matter to you listeners.
We don't often record on the weekend, and it's also mid-afternoon, which we usually record in the evening when it's more appropriate to be drinking.
Well, I've been drinking coffee with fake Aldi Baileys, so Oh
yeah, it's called like Corellin or something. That's on my shopping list.
Connolly's or something.
Connolly's?
Yeah. There's a C and two
Irishy.
N's. Yeah.
That's delicious. I'm having a weird day, and so I also received a free bottle of Brut. I'm in my neighborhood's like free trade group. If you live where other people live, which not everyone does, Mats, you probably don't have this. Maybe you do. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about where you live.
No.
If you live near other people, you might have like a local buy nothing group, and I'm very active in mine because Sean and I have a lot of crap all the time, and we're constantly like upgrading stuff. And this one very nice Eastern European lady was like, oh my God, thank you for this half-used nail polish. I brought you this Brut because I always get stuff at your house that I love. And I'm like, what? And it was the nicest thing.
That's
and I'm
delightful.
drinking it. Shout out to you, neighbor.
Are you drinking it with the little sugar cube in it?
I am not. Haley and I recently, I don't know if you know what we're talking about, recently saw Moonstruck.
Well, we've seen Moonstruck. We saw it in a theater just for fun because it was at the theater. But that is a thing that movie. Yeah, that's our plug. That's our collective plug for the day is Moonstruck.
That's true. It's such a damn good movie. Like, I could watch it again right now.
I lost my hand. I lost my pride. Sorry.
Well, and Andrew and I were just at a party with like non-related friends who did not go to see that movie with us. Andrew and I were both just at a party and we were talking back and forth, and I'm like, why do we both have Brooklyn accents right now? It's because we saw Moonstruck the day before. It just happens. Well, and I was talking to my therapist yesterday too, and she is Southern, and I was like, oh no, well, I have a Southern accent now. That's a damn shame. I'm just trying to blend in.
Just impressionable.
I'm impressionable. So I am drinking a little mimosi. I mixed it in a pitcher, and it looks like not a lot for like a whole bottle of booze, but that's because I'm an alcoholic.
You're only one man.
I'm like a cute little technical alcoholic, you know?
Mommy doesn't get drunk. She just has fun.
Mommy doesn't get drunk. She just has fun. Like, I think if I took some tests, they'd be like, yeesh. But everything's fine. I'm fit, and it's not a problem ever, so. And champagne, specifically Brut, I call it bubbly because I don't want to sound stupid saying champagne, you know?
Yeah, champagne is something that you bust out for special occasions, not just because it's Sunday. I don't think I've ever even had
champagne. Maybe if someone handed it to me for like a fancy toast or whatever. But bubbly drinks like this make me feel strong and powerful. You know, like sometimes wine makes you feel heavy, a little silly, but bubbly. I was swimming against the James River for hours one day because I had way too much Brut. I was stronger than the James for just a little bit, just once.
The James is like 2 feet deep, but go off, babe.
I was swimming against the current, climbing on the rocks, and I convinced one of my most reserved friends to follow me. Guess who it was?
Was it Anna?
It was Anna. I'm like, Haley's like, well, if it's not me, it's gonna be Anna.
Yeah, no, you don't have to convince me to go out in the river. At the very least, I'll do that.
Yeah, so I know that I'm just bullshitting. I'm procrastinating starting this awful chapter, but it is long, so we should get started. But I was telling Haley before we started recording that I had a very weird and disappointing social interaction last night with someone I was friends with a long time ago. So I have this weird feeling inside of me.
Aww.
Hence the mid-afternoon booze. I'm like, okay, I gotta get my mind right.
Fantastic.
So if I sound weird, it's because I'm fucking weird and I feel kind of weird.
Everyone in this chapter is having kind of a weird time, so it fits.
Good segue.
Hey.
Good segue. Let's do it.
Crushed it.
Welcome to the restricted section. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, chapter 23, Christmas on the Closed Ward. And I know what you're thinking. It's the beginning of February. I don't want to think about Christmas. This is the last time of year I want to be thinking about Christmas. I'm with you.
Same.
In order for our Valentine's Day episode to line up with Valentine's Day, we had to do the Christmas episode late. Sorry about that. But just you wait for Valentine's Day.
That one is important.
That one's very important. I'm very excited. So, what? This is a classic. Where did we leave you? What just happened to you before this chapter started? And what happened is that Harry, Fred, George, Ron, Ginny, is that everyone?
I think that's everyone.
They were listening with extendable ears outside of Arthur Weasley's hospital room in St. Mungo's, and Arthur Weasley, Molly Weasley, Mad-Eye Moody, and Nymphadora Tonks were like, oh my god, can you believe that we suspect that Harry Potter is being possessed by Voldemort? Like, can you believe? Like, obviously your children are listening. What's wrong with you?
You spent all summer trying to stop them from listening. Now you let your guard down?
Yeah.
It's like, this is kind of important to, like, not let especially Harry know.
Really?
Also, Arthur is in a shared room.
Yeah.
He does not have a private room. Anyway.
It's fine. We'll just keep talking about it. Full volume. Whatever. Who cares?
So Harry starts suspecting that he is the great weapon that everyone has been talking about that Voldemort's after. He's like, that's why everyone's guarding me. It's like not to protect me. It's to protect everyone else from me.
All right, bud.
So they go home. They go back to Grimmauld Place. He goes upstairs to nap, a.k.a. have a panic attack. I've been there.
Still,
I'm just going to go take a quick nap.
Still manages, after 5 years, to forget about the whole can't fucking teleport. I know it's apparate, but can't... There's no manner of unsanctioned teleportation in and out of Hogwarts. You know this. You've been told this so many times. In so many ways.
He literally just is safe at Hogwarts?
It's just...
I guess he thinks maybe Voldemort's, like, so powerful that he overcame that. And the only thing, really, that would lead him to believe that he's safe at Hogwarts is a faith in Albus Dumbledore, who has been neglecting him all year and not even fucking talking to him. So if anyone's gonna have a faith crisis in Albus Dumbledore, now's the time.
He should at least be thinking, like, hang on, how would that be possible? Like,
No.
just have a moment of hesitation here.
Why would you
moron.
think critically ever?
No,
Harry
you're
Potter
right,
has
he's
never
15.
once hesitated in his life,
No.
and he's not going to start now.
No, not when he's 15.
Honestly, like the first so many pages of my notes, I'm just so annoyed at Harry. It's the whole thing.
This is very much like the depths of the angst. Like, this whole chapter is just,
Peak.
the whole chapter is just every situation of, like, hey, remember being 15? That was fucked up, right? Like, what was that all about?
Yeah. It's like so, the anxiety is so visceral. Like, hey man, none of this makes sense, and you should, like, worrying about this is not, and it's like, it doesn't matter. It's just happening.
And it's like, they have no control over it. None of these kids have any control over what's happening. They can't stop any of what's happening from happening. Like, every single scene is just that.
When Sean and I were listening to this chapter, he was like, oh, damn, Harry's kind of angsty, right? Am I right? And I'm like, oh my God, you don't even know.
Angst.
Like, you don't even know what's happening right now. Like,
angst.
it's the angstiest thing. This whole thing, I'm 500 pages in and it's so angsty. There's no way I'm 500 pages in yet. It's got to be like 440.
No, we're about 500 pages in.
Really?
Yeah, this chapter went from 490-something to 515.
Oh my God. Okay. So what happened is, like, right in the middle there, I got a little sassy and fed up with how slowly the book was passing, and so I didn't pay attention for a couple weeks, and now it's just zooming past.
Yeah.
We're actually in the story
Zooming.
now. Finally! More than halfway through!
Only took 455 pages in my copy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Harry's having a little panic attack. He's like, Voldemort's an animagus. He can turn into a snake. He can possess Harry, turn me into a snake. I'm animagus. I'm accidental nighttime animagus. I'm a snake. I'm a snake.
I'm a snake.
I'm a snake.
He's freaking out, and, like, I do get this, but he's freaking out because he feels like he's giving Voldemort, like, a picture-perfect view into the inside of the Order of the Phoenix.
I can get
Kind of what they were worried about.
Yeah.
I wonder... Okay, so the way that Voldemort is, like, in Harry's head, I wonder if Voldemort could pull the address of Grimmauld Place from Harry's brain. Because Harry knows it, or could you only pull it from the brain of the Secret Keeper?
I think you can only pull it from the brain of the Secret Keeper, like, even if somebody, like, if there's a, what is it, Fidelius charm? If somebody else, like, reveals the address, it just, like, won't work somehow.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, like, maybe
Because
like,
magic.
just no sound comes out of your mouth, or maybe you drop dead, who knows?
You drop dead? Wait.
Yeah, you try to reveal a secret that isn't your secret, and then you just fall over
drops
dead.
dead?
The person who tries
Harry
to
drops
snitch.
dead or Voldemort drops dead?
Harry drops dead. Like,
Because his brain is getting invaded?
like, he tries to get the words out. Like, if you try to get the words out, maybe, like, your throat, like, closes in on itself, or, like, your tongue,
Like, you
just
have
swallow your own
anaphylactic
tongue
shock.
or something.
That's horrifying.
Maybe. Who fucking knows?
Oh my God. Okay, so Harry Potter is like, I'm going back to the Dursleys.
I love the fact that Harry, when he's terrified that he's going to be the cause of the death of every person in his life, he's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to the Dursleys. Why not?
Fuck it. There's not. How can this get worse? I know. I'll go back to the suburbs.
Okay, so he's like, I'm leaving. And guess who shows up?
Phineas
One of my favorite
Nigelus. I
Fucking
fucking love
Phineas.
him.
One of my favorite characters, Phineas Nigelus. Haley, a long time ago, we were doing like a Harry Potter guess who said that shit. Oh, Harry Quoter. I just remembered what I called it. You figured out a Phineas Nigelus quote, kind of, with only slight prodding. And that quote happens in this chapter. It's a very good quote.
Oh, which was it?
Okay, I'll get there maybe.
Okay.
Phineas Nigelus is like, hey, I got a message from Dumbledore. And Harry's like, what is it? And Phineas goes, stay where you are. And Harry's like, I am, bro. I'm ready for the message.
Like,
what is it? And Phineas is like, no, the message is stay where you are.
Like an Abbott and Costello bit.
Harry sort of like loses his shit as this is like maddeningly unhelpful to him personally in this moment.
I mean, yeah. He actually kind of goes off.
Yeah.
And it's not completely unmerited.
Okay. Phineas Nigelus says, this is the biggest book. You know, this is precisely why I loathe being a teacher. Young people are so infernally convinced that they are absolutely right about everything. Has it not occurred to you, my poor, puffed-up popinjay, that there might be an excellent reason why the headmaster of Hogwarts is not confiding every tiny detail of his plans to you? Have you never paused, while feeling hard done by, to note that following Dumbledore's orders has never yet led you into harm? No, like all young people, you are quite sure that you alone feel and think, you alone recognize danger, you alone are the only one clever enough to realize what the Dark Lord may be planning. I believe that the gays call this like a read, right? Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just like the most honest. It's like, shut the fuck up, sit down, you don't know. Like, Harry's anger is valid right now, but Phineas Nigelus is like, you are an infant. Like, shut the fuck up and just do what we're telling you to do.
Just stay in this one house. That's all anyone is asking you to do. That's all you need to do.
Obviously, this is, like, laid through with snark, and, like, Phineas Nigelus, like, full snark.
Like, he's doing alliteration, poor puffed up popinjay.
But, like, I feel like he's very loyal to Dumbledore, even though he acts this way. I feel like Phineas is loyal to Dumbledore. He's like, dude, I've been watching this guy stress so fucking much over all of this issue. This was, like, the best choice he could make, and, like, shut the fuck up about it. Like, just trust him. It's literally always been good before, except for that whole goblet of fire thing.
I mean, like, but like, as much as it's infuriating to not know all of the details of, like, why you're being told to do a thing, like, you do know that there's shit going on that you just, like, can't know about. Like, you've been informed, like, hey, we can't tell you why we're telling you to do this, but, like, just do this one thing. Just do this one thing.
You're a child.
Like, you're 15. Yeah. You're 15, man.
You're maybe the most impulsive child in this entire world. You should not know a secret. Literally any secret, you should not know it, because they're going to tell people.
Yeah.
Well, not one. There was one that he managed to keep, but it only lasted a year. Oof. That's not his fault, though.
Not his fault for once.
So, in sum, I love the way that Phineas Nigelus just tells Harry what he's thinking. I like how he calls out his, like, toxic Gryffindor behavior of just, like, running boldly into the next thing without thinking.
Yeah. Honestly, now that you say this is indeed what the gays call a read, Phineas, we're getting a vibe. I take it we're all getting a vibe with Phineas. Yeah.
To me, Slytherin in general just has gay energy.
Like, he's like villain coded the way that, like, all of the Disney villains, like
he's like a total Scar.
Right?
I was thinking Littlefinger, honestly, a little bit.
Littlefinger. Littlefinger.
Yeah.
Who, if I have ever seen a Slytherin in my life, it is Littlefinger.
Who was it that voiced Scar? Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
I feel like if Phineas had been in the movies, Jeremy Irons would have had to play him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's good. That voice.
Yeah.
It has, that voice.
Yeah,
So
he's like
good.
inspecting his nails despite wearing gloves. Like, girl, what? Silk gloves. They're silk.
Of course.
Okay, Harry sinks into another vision. It's the fucking black door again, and he hates it, and we hate it for him.
Yep. Voldemort's still out here visualizing. He's manifesting that shit.
I was making this joke earlier. Hold on. What is the book? Okay, the book that Brian writes in Family Guy. Brian writes a bestseller. Okay, and what is the name?
First thing that comes to mind is The Secret. I don't know why.
This is Brian from Family Guy. And remember, Haley, when I said during the break that we had to get through the rest of the chapter?
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
So Brian writes a bestseller. He's like, I bet I can write a fucking self-help bestseller because they're bullshit. And they are. This is my professional opinion. Bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
But he writes a book called Wish It, Want It, Do It.
It's really about having the courage to just kind of get inside your own head and just kind of poke around in there, and be like, hey, oh my gosh, what's under here? Hey, what do you call yourself? Oh, wisdom. Oh, profundity. Oh, truth. Hey, let's all just go hang out together between the covers of a book. I love hearing about your process.
And that's the book that Voldemort is using for this. Wish it,
Nailed
want it, do it.
Nailed it. That does. I mean, this sounds like manifesting to me. This sounds like he did read that and The Secret. I think he has a whole shelf, which that's a red flag. On top of everything else, that would be the biggest red flag about him, his shelf of self-help books.
It's the genocide, the
like the next one down is
shelf.
there's a shelf of self-help books, and then there's a shelf of like serial killer biographies, and like yeah.
Oh, have I told you that I started listening to this new podcast called If Books Could Kill?
No.
And it's about like the god awful like pop self-help and like finance books, like Freakonomics, and The Secret was one that they covered.
Yep. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, this is
There's
right.
a lot. So Harry wakes up from the stream and he decides not to go down for dinner, and I guess to never go down for anything ever again. He's just in his room.
Like the brother from Little Miss Sunshine. Like, I wish I could just go to sleep till I was 18 and skip all of this. Which, same.
You are Paul Dano from Little Miss Sunshine.
It's, I watched that movie a lot at certain periods in my life.
You have said before that it is your favorite / one of your favorites.
It is, because of that.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. That conversation got me through middle school.
Good for you. Have we watched that recently? I know we probably watched it a couple years ago,
We
right?
watched it, like, when we first started doing movie night. But I would be down to watch it again.
6 years ago.
Yes.
Wait, I said 6 years ago as a joke, but it's really 6 years ago that we met Haley.
Yeah.
I was being dramatic. I'm so old. Time. It passes quickly. Oh my god.
Wait, how was 2017 6 years ago?
See? Oh my god.
You're making it accelerate faster.
So many traumas.
Oof.
Time passes.
To be fair, there are
quickly.
very few things that I would rather pass the time doing than talking to you guys, so...
Thank you so much.
Don't
And
say
I
stuff
feel
like that while I'm
exactly the
drinking
same.
water.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't-
beautiful.
Water!
Choke on how
Wow.
sweet you are.
Wow, puff. Wow, puff.
Also, yellow
puff,
shirt.
Puff. Oh my god. Okay, well, first of all, you're right. It is a yellow shirt, but you know what else it is? Is a restricted section shirt. Amazing.
Fantastic.
Haley has one of those now.
I do.
Hey.
I bought her one. I was
Mine's-
like, you're required to wear this for professional events.
Guess what color it is? I won't make you guess. It's gray. Everything. I always spring for gray.
Mine's pink, which also tracks.
Yes.
And Mott's is yellow. This all makes sense.
Yeah, we're all very predictable people.
Baby pink is a neutral to me. So everyone is decorating Grimmauld Place for Christmas.
Wait,
It's Christmas.
Tina, I want you to put that on a t-shirt. that should go in our merch.
A baby pink t-shirt.
No, of course, like baby pink is a neutral to me.
Harry's sulking. Okay, listen, it gets worse because Harry starts sulking in Buckbeak's room.
Yeah.
Buckbeak shouldn't have a room.
I think it's Sirius's mom's old room.
Yeah.
Didn't they say that?
I have said before that that's the room that Sirius and Remus fuck in, and probably not if that's Buckbeak's room, because I don't have a hippogriff, but I do have 4 cats, and let's just say that when you're fucking and then you stop and you look around, it's like, oh, you guys were all looking, huh?
Yeah, and like aren't hippogriffs kind of fussy about manners?
they're fussy about manners.
Like, you're not respecting my mom.
My mom's old Sheltie used to, like, when I would be, like, making out or, like, having sex in her house, my mom's Sheltie would try to break down the door because he thought I was dying, straight up.
Yeah.
Because you're like, and the Sheltie's like, she's dying in there with that strange man.
He's murdering her. She's being stabbed. Well, kinda. In a manner of speaking. I am fine, though.
Okay, so eventually we have to call in the big guns. Hermione fucking Granger.
Yep.
Isn't her middle name Jean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hermione Jean Granger. My girl. She does too much for these boys, and yet I so admire her dedication to them. Like, I feel like it, and for the most part, sometimes it's exhausting for her, but I feel like for the most part, she's like, it's a joy to help you guys understand what is happening to you.
I think she finds it enriching. She's like, maybe I just have Moonstruck on the mind, but like, she's got Loretta Castorini vibes here. Like, come out of that room. Come downstairs. No, it's skiing's not my thing. I fuck skiing.
Honestly,
come the hell downstairs. Everyone says you're hiding.
I'm glad you said fuck skiing, because the words fuck skiing are literally in my notes. I hate skiing so much.
Dude, I hate being cold.
Yeah, same.
I hate trying a new physical thing when people are looking at me, and I have bad knees. So why am I going to go skiing?
Yeah, I have bad coordination, and I don't like going fast, and I'm not good at reacting to stuff.
Yeah, don't like going fast, not good at reacting to stuff. For me, it's like my vision, my depth perception is horrible. Eventually, they're going to take my driver's license. Not today, but they should take my skiing license.
I did think when we were at the movie theater the other day, and we went in and the lights were already off, and you were immediately nervous, and I was like, oh, this is the future. This is our future, is just kind of compensating as a friend group for all of our weird issues.
Haley's my eyes. I'm her public presenting personality. I do all her talking for her, but she's my seeing eye introvert.
Yeah.
It's a great arrangement.
It works out.
No, Sean knows, like, you know, last night we were at a party and we were going into the backyard, and I was like, you go first. And he was like, I know why. It's because you won't be able to see when we get out there. So Hermione is like, okay, well, first of all, I want to talk about how Mr. and Mrs. Granger have, like, lost their daughter forever.
No, like, I always think about this. Like, I do think that she doesn't like skiing, but, like, I don't think she's told them shit. I don't think she's told them a single goddamn, like,
ever.
Because she lied to them to get out of skiing. She didn't tell them, like, hey, yeah, there's a war going on, and my already very traumatized orphaned friend from an abusive household is, like, kind of the linchpin of the whole situation. Mm-hmm. And I kind of just, I need to be involved. No, she tells them, like, oh no, everyone who cares about their grades is staying at school to study.
Hermione never really talks about her parents, like, in any kind of real way, but I feel like there's, like, more there than we get the time to explore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm fascinated.
I almost feel like they just are like, she's magic. Like, we can't say no ever again. She has magic.
Dark theory time. You know how Hermione supposedly obliviates her parents when she goes camping with Harry and Ron.
Catelyn Stark and that guy.
My theory is that she already has obliviated her parents at this point, and that
she's just on vacation by herself. She's like got their credit card. Yeah. She's like, this is the life. I'm a fucking witch. Dude.
Yeah.
I think she sent them to Australia, didn't she? She's got the house to herself.
Yeah. And whenever someone like picks up on the fact that she's living by herself, she just obliviates them. She's fine.
Oh my god. Wait, that's actually not that. I mean, okay, yeah, it's a dark theory, but also good for her.
Yeah, no, like that's honestly that would be the smart move.
That's the move. Make sure they're happy just elsewhere, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't a problem yet, but it's going to be within the year.
Obviously, children shouldn't live without parents, but also, Hermione's a total Matilda. Like, she'll be fine.
Yeah, if any teenager can take care of herself.
Also, some parents really suck.
Yeah. Her parents sound fine.
Yeah.
Distant, but fine. Which, I mean, Australia would be distant for Great Britain.
Distant, but fine, yeah. Hermione makes Harry come to his room and eat some lunch. He's like starving. Okay, so here's something that Harry and I don't have in common. I'll never protest not eat for any reason.
Yeah,
like I'm eating dinner, you know, like in fact, like that's crucial to me not getting like more enraged with the situation.
I don't know if it's an anger thing. I think it's an anxiety thing because there's like a point that you can hit, especially if you get like physical anxiety where it's like in your stomach. Where you're like...
I guess I do understand that.
Yeah, feeling hungry makes you feel nauseous and like you're too nauseated to eat.
Yeah,
I usually I do get what you're saying. I usually associate it with like waking up in the morning, like for an event or something. And so for me, because I'm an extrovert, I'm never like, this is anxiety. I'm like, I'm so excited that I have the tummy aches.
No, it's like a Cheaty thing. Like, Cheaty from The Good Place is so valid. Like, I'm in heaven and I have a stomach ache. Like, relatable.
Yeah. Oh, what a good show.
That is a really good show. Okay, so Joke's on You is an intervention. This is an intervention. Ron and Ginny are there. They start shouting about whose fault it is that everyone is feeling weird and mad. This is so funny.
You won't look at me. Well, you won't look at us.
Like, I literally, not talking to someone, like, honestly and openly that you tend to do that with all the time, that's, like, enough to, like, start some kind of, like, weird argument. You know what I mean? Like, just changing your behavior toward the people that you love and spend time with all the time. It's like, what is going on with you? Like, you can't just be like, nothing. Like, I know you.
You threw off our groove. You threw off our collective groove.
Our synergy is out of whack. Okay, so everyone starts shouting, wah, 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 wah. Ginny, my favorite fucking character, like, from this point. Like, first of all, Ginny, she dates around. She hooks up. I bet she already has had sex. You know what I mean? Like willfully and happily. Like, good for fucking her. You know, like, she's getting her personality in order. She's like, I'm a strong woman. I'll do anything, including tell you to shut up and sit down because guess who else has been possessed by Voldemort? Me! And
guess who was there at the time? Your dumbass.
In my notes, I'm just going to read from...
Please do.
Enter Ginny. Finally, we meet someone in this chapter with a brain who isn't a fucking portrait. And then in parentheses, I suppose Hermione has one sometimes, but whatever. Also, I just want to bring up the Hermione quote. Oh, stop feeling all misunderstood, which is Hermione basically acting as the surrogate for every reader.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You love to hear it.
Like, good for... We're getting it out. Like, sometimes you just have to, like, fuss it out. It's like, why are you acting so weird? Well, because you said that thing. Well, I didn't mean it like that. Okay, well, it still made me feel weird. Okay, well, I'm sorry, you know? And then it's like, all right, why are we yelling now?
I don't know. It feels good to get it out.
So Ginny grills Harry and is like, you're not even being possessed, dude.
Lucky you.
You have zero symptoms of possession.
Yeah.
Guess what? What day is it? It's Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Harry New Year.
Harry New Year, goddammit.
Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, so we get the classic gift rundown.
I love that Sirius also just wanted to decorate the house for everybody. This chapter makes me so fucking sad, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Haley.
everything's fine.
Haley.
Everything's fine.
Oh, Haley, we're gonna unpack it.
Yeah.
Just you wait. Just you
I have
wait.
several notes that I want to bring up for the decorating.
Oh, really? Okay, list them.
Well, first we have the presents.
I want to note in the presents that Ron got Hermione a, quote, unusual perfume.
Yeah.
Unquote. And what here's, when you give someone perfume as a gift, here's what you're telling them. I care about what you smell like.
I am getting like a very distinct impression just from the fact that Ron even thought to do this, that he like flipped through some of Molly's like housewife magazines to try to figure out what should a young wizard out on the town be giving to the young lady of his maybe possibly affections, even though he won't admit it even to himself.
He's like, I just have this urge to give her perfume. Like, I don't know what that's about.
Like someone, like Fred walked in the room and he just like pulled a order form out of the catalog and was like, I what catalog? You were reading a magazine.
Okay, Wizarding World Christmas carols are confusing as hell, just like everything else related to Wizarding World Christmas and just Wizarding World, period.
Yeah. Sure.
At one point, it says that the decapitated heads of the house elves are decorated with Santa hats and beards?
Yep. Yeah, no, they're, in the, I don't know what the publishing, looks like where you're at, Mats, but, this is the illustration for the chapter.
No!
In my version. Yep!
That's like a garden gnome.
There you go. Yeah, there. Drink it in, buddy.
Yeah. And so there's a picture on the Instagram, everyone.
Yeah.
Also,
thanks, I hate it.
Also, the decapitated heads of the house elves are all stuffed, which... Does that mean that house elf taxidermy is a thing?
It's a black market, wink, get it? Get it? Black market.
Wow.
Thanks so much.
Do you understand Andrew better in this moment? Do you feel...
He and I are friends because we were both so performative.
Equally bad at making jokes, yeah.
But taking an equal amount of joy in it.
Like seriously? Stuffed?
Seriously.
Does that mean that it's taxidermy?
I can't... I think it's literally...
Well, there's taxidermy and then there's like shrunken heads, and it's hard to say which.
Wow, their heads are pre-shrunk, you know what I mean?
Oh. Man, you're really on form today, huh?
No, but they are. They're like already so
it's like
small.
Like all of the decorations before that sound so lovely. It's like, oh, we've got fake snow in the corners and covering the carpets. We've got a big Christmas tree. That was Dobby. Dobby did that. No, this actually looks nice. It sounds like the house looks nice. Sirius put in a goddamn effort and then also put Santa hats on the fucking house elves. Man.
Well, you gotta laugh at them somehow, you know what I mean? It's like when you do the Bogart and you have to figure out how to make them goofy so they're not as threatening anymore.
Can't they just take them down?
Unstick.
No, it's tradition. It's tradition.
Permanent sticking charm.
Tradition. But like, why would there be a permanent sticking charm on those? Never mind. It's fine. We don't have to break it down. There's so much chapter left. Okay. Important note. Molly Weasley sent Percy a Christmas sweater and he sent it back without saying a damn thing. Okay. Oh my god, like, it's vicious. It's vicious behavior. Your father is in the hospital.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh
Percy doesn't even appear in this chapter, and he still manages to be the worst part of it.
You're right about that. That's a good.
It's quite impressive.
I'm gonna put that quote somewhere.
It's honestly impressive. He's really good at being a dick.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that Fred and George were trying to make her feel better and and it didn't work. So Lupin took over. The emotional backbone of this rebel alliance.
I just remembered something. Okay. Do you remember when they were listing do you remember when Joanne was listing all of the Christmas presents? Do you remember that Lupin and Sirius sent a combo gift together?
Yeah.
You know, like a couple does.
Yeah.
The clues were here all along.
They're both.
You just have to open your eyes to see the way of the wolf star.
I feel.
Is it possible that they're both also incredibly broke and went in on it together? Sure, but that doesn't mean that they're not banging. Two things can be true.
It just like it says. It's like. We got him a present together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what would you do? And honestly, I bet Lupin was like, I know exactly what we're going to get for Harry. And Sirius Black's like, oh, thank God.
You would not believe how hard it is for me to go shopping.
He has to mail order with an owl. That's the only way.
To a house no one can find.
Or Crookshanks.
Wait, that raises
There he goes.
Can the owls find Grimmauld Place, Haley?
Probably not. No, because then you could have spy owls. Owl spies.
What? It's so. Is Hedwig here this whole time? Hedwig's not here. Doesn't she find this place?
Shit, you're right.
She has to find this place.
Maybe Dumbledore told her to.
Dumbledore gave Hedwig the address.
Wait, I feel like I need to commission a 2-panel comic strip. I know it's a 2-panel comic strip. I'm going to ask Zach to draw for me. And the first one is going to be Dumbledore dead serious, being like, Hedwig, I need you to go visit Harry at the following address. And the second panel is Hedwig, deadpan as hell, in her spy gear, being like, hoot.
Fucking Kill Bill outfit.
Yeah, Hedwig in a Kill Bill outfit. Yes. Yes, queen. Have you guys ever seen those pictures of the owl's legs? When you lift up their feathers, there's like real legs underneath.
Yeah, give them the old razzle dazzle.
Okay. Oh my god, we simply must focus. Hermione has made Creature a quilt for his bedroom, and everyone's like, what bedroom? He sleeps? He's literally a living creature? That's news to me. And so they go to find his bedroom under the boiler off the kitchen. Okay, and there's a bit of an aside about how no one has seen Creature lately. But they're like, he's weird, who cares? And like, I guess that's probably that, you know, like, he's weird, who cares?
Yeah, that's probably never going to
He's
come
probably
up
around
ever
here
again.
somewhere.
Oh, it comes so close, though. It comes so close. Because Harry's, like, this is what infuriates me about fucking Harry. Like, you can't remember the whole, like, hey, no, the castle is, like, literally magically impregnable. But you can remember, what about 4 days ago, precisely, when you yelled out? Do you think he meant...
all the way out?
Yeah, like...
Like, why don't you call him right now?
Right, exactly.
Shouldn't his master be able to do that?
Like, yeah, this
Sorry,
all
the word
seems...
master makes me, like,
know.
walk into the sea, so...
But, like, Sirius is just like, no, he can't possibly leave. Harry's like, well, I mean, he literally can. What about the whole Dobby thing? And they're like, we'll look into it later.
Okay, so after lunch, they all go over to St.
I have one more
to see Arthur.
creature-related note.
Oh my god, I really thought we were, like, finally gonna get to what this chapter's about, but not yet.
I'm trying to make this recording last 3 hours.
Okay, well, the listeners voted. I made the listeners vote like 2 years ago if they wanted long episodes broken into 2-parters, and y'all said no. So if this is a 3-hour episode, y'all only have yourselves to blame. It won't be. There's no way.
Yes, wait. Anyway,
we'll never beat our record of 2 hours and 22 minutes, the Veritaserum episode.
Yeah, that's a lot.
There was a lot going on in that episode. There's a lot going on in this episode, though, so, you know, who's to say?
It's hard to keep up. Okay, Mots, what's
it's
the
at least
thing?
a very long chapter. Okay, hang on.
It's really long. And you messaged me earlier today, you were like, this is a long one. And I was like, I guess I should start listening now.
Like a long chapter.
Feels long. Listeners, does it feel long?
Reminder, Mots, you did choose this.
You chose this life.
I sure did.
I'm contractually required to, and so is Haley. You're the one who chose. Just kidding. We don't have contract.
Okay, hang on. I need to find the note. Okay. On the topic of creature, I feel like we, the Harry Potter community on the whole, don't talk enough about the fact that Harry Potter, the main character and presumed good guy of the book series, Harry Potter,
Presumed good guy,
becomes a literal slave owner in the next book.
Wow. Wow.
He's the good guy, everyone.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Unfortunate.
Right.
I have one note just before St. Mungo's. Where did Mundungus fucking learn to drive?
That's just a handy skill.
Okay.
I almost feel like maybe he has spent some time serving on some Muggle heist crews just to get some varied experience.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, diversify his portfolio, if you will.
Diversify the portfolio. Okay, so after lunch, they all go over to St. Mungo's to see Arthur. And there's a very lovely joke about all the people who are coming in with injuries from family arguments. You know, it's like, yeah, that makes
Christmas
sense, actually. It's 'tis the season to get into a fist fight with your uncle.
Or, you know, send a walnut up someone's nostril.
Here's what I don't like. Type A wives of husbands with ADHD deal with a lot. Not speaking from experience or anything. Molly Weasley is like, I see they changed your bandage 2 hours before the time that they usually change your bandage. Like, what fucking happened to you? What did you do? Why did they change your bandage? And she peeks, and then she's like, what the fuck is this? It's fucking Stitches. It's a fucking muggle. She's like grilling him and screaming, and the narrative paints her like she's a fucking bitch, dude. And I hate it. I hate the vilification of Molly Weasley in this book.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is necessarily vilification. Like, the Stitches apparently did not work. Like,
they dissolved.
No, that's Hermione's guess. I think the reason they didn't work, that's how I remembered it too. And then I was reading it this time, and I was like, that's not. No, Stitches just aren't that good for really jagged wounds. Like, they just don't work that well.
And the person who was doing them maybe had never done them before.
It was an intern. Intern. That's why Molly is not right to be pissed here. Like, Arthur's kind of acting like he's in pain, but he's not saying why. But, like, I do love everybody's reactions in here. Like, Bill is immediately sees the look on Molly's face. He's like, I'm a head out.
I honestly,
Bill's been dealing with this longer than anyone.
Yeah, no, that's why Fred and George take their cues, and then Harry hears Molly be like, well, it kind of sounds like you've been sewing yourself up like a shirt, but that would be fucking absurd.
That sounds fucking bananas if you've never heard of Stitches before. That sounds real. And like, even I live in a world with Stitches. I've gotten plenty of Stitches in my day, and even like reading a book or something where someone's like giving stitches, I'm like, what? Why do you think you can just sew a person up? Like, why does that? But it works. I got stitch scars on my arm, my scarm. That's what my cousin Christopher calls it.
Have I ever brought up, I've got a forehead scar right where Harry Potter does, because I ran...
Scarhead?
Yeah, I ran full force into the front desk at a fancy restaurant when I was 5. And split my head open to the bone.
Fantastic!
I had to get a bunch of stitches.
Oh my god.
No one died, though.
I meant to ask, when was the last time you guys visited someone in the hospital, since we're doing trauma, wait, hold on, I had a joke for this.
I haven't visited anyone in a hospital recently, but, like, I think the last I was in the hospital, like, myself, was, I had fucked up my hand, like just accidentally. It was when I accidentally, the bread knife thing. And that was a situation of like, hey, it's too jagged to, do stitches, so we're just gonna have to leave this open. Yeah. It was a bad time.
That's fine.
I think the last time that I was, I don't even know if I can call it visiting someone in the hospital. I was not in the hospital for like my own self, but my dad had just had, I think, possibly a heart attack, or like. I don't remember what exactly it was, but basically my dad was completely unconscious, and the last the last thing that happened before we had to leave was we all collectively decided that my dad probably would not regain conscience, so we had to collectively make the decision to just so that was fun. Trauma chapter.
Yay! He wins.
Wow. You win.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah. I very rarely win in anything, so that's great.
You won the dead parents joke. Great job.
Good job. Team Dead Dad is thriving on DXM, honestly.
Team Dead Dad. Team Dead Dad.
Is Harry Potter invited?
What are you doing? Okay.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
I was gonna whip out the late grandmama card, but it's like it seems like silly now to be like, well, my 86-year-old grandma was in the hospital, if you can believe it, before she passed away. Like, obviously.
I mean, my trauma story just doesn't involve a hospital, but that's fine. We'll get there.
I was in the hospital about a year ago because I had a horrific chiropractic encounter, and I think I told that on the podcast. But that was. I've been thinking about that lately. It's the anniversary of that time that the chiropractor ruined my day for 2 days. Actually, it lingered. So the first day, I got a bad adjustment, and I was like barfing and like dizzy, and my husband had to take me to the hospital, and it was awful. And then the next day, I went to my mom's house for Christmas Eve, and I had a splitting migraine, which I hadn't had for years, but I had like the worst migraine of my life. And all my family was being riotously happy because it was Christmas Eve. And I was like, I want to walk into the woods and cover myself with, what's in those woods? Not bears.
Moss, leaves, sticks, peat.
No, like something to attract a predator, you know what I mean?
Okay. Deer
Maybe
urine?
like flowers, the bees can come get me.
Possibly.
The bees.
Oh, P.S. The favorite line in this chapter was, "What do you mean? That's the general idea!"
I do really love that line.
Everyone fucking dips.
I feel like I don't like the vilification of Molly Weasley because I see myself in Molly Weasley.
Okay, but Molly's not wrong. That's my thing.
She's not wrong. Like, she's the only one who's like, but what if that was a terrible idea and like something stupid happened because you listened to an intern? And Arthur Weasley's like, but interns have value. And it's like, but they're not in charge for a reason.
They're wizards. I don't think they know about germ theory. Like,
sure.
do they know about sterilizing things? Do they?
I don't think they do. I straight up don't think they do.
Sounds like someone's got himself a little infectie poo.
A little infectie poo. Arthur has this like fucking wound. That's why he's still in the hospital, is because they can't figure out how to make it clot, basically, right? It was like bleeding openly, and the stitches haven't helped, and that's interesting. I guess if it's like, I don't know what else to do. Do you want to do this bizarre Muggle experiment? You know, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, they probably like got to talking about Muggle stuff, and the intern was like, "I'm actually really interested in like some Muggle medical practices. In fact, they've got this thing. If you would consent to try it."
The thing is that I think with Molly is that Arthur should have been like, hey, Molly, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, he should have said something. Yeah.
Say anything.
I mean, she would have said, "You're an idiot, please don't."
But then she wouldn't have been mad like this on Christmas to find out this way, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to get down to business.
Are we going to defeat the Huns?
To defeat the Huns.
Send me daughters.
Okay, but The horse's name in Mulan is Khan. I just want to remind you that the horse's name in Mulan is Khan.
Yeah, we know you're related to the horse from Mulan. No one likes a bragger.
I love that character. Okay.
Oh, I thought of a joke earlier. Actually, very topical considering you brought up Huns. I thought of an alternate universe scenario where the alternate medicine thing that Arthur had used was essential oils instead of fucking stitches.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're probably smelling my smelly mom.
Hey!
She's been wearing essential oils.
Terrible idea. Did you guys know that some essential oils can melt plastic?
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Yeah. Clove oil, specifically, will fuck up certain kinds of plastic.
I only use 2 kinds of essential oil. Number 1, I use tea tree oil when I'm getting a zit. And number 2, I use peppermint oil in my humidifier when I am feeling boogery.
Yep.
Those are the 2.
Yep. But,
This is the way.
They are heading for the tea room, which Harry also just remembers where it is. He just remembers what the sign was downstairs. Yeah. How does your memory work, sir?
It's poorly.
Really badly for schoolwork. For
I can't even talk shit because mine's the same way. I can't remember anything important, but, I can remember weird details from 6 years ago.
Haley, that's why we love you.
And traumatizing moments from high school, and...
Yeah.
So the kids wind up on a floor called spell damage, which, no thank you. I would not be going there. Enter Professor Lockhart.
Yep, staring out from a little window.
Pursued by his own past.
And a nurse who calls him a naughty boy.
Ooh. But, I get it. Oh my god, a silly baby, hot guy, famous hot guy. It's in my ward now. Yeah, you're a naughty boy.
He's the darkest universe version of a himbo.
Yeah, this is the worst.
On the sliding scale of himbos, he's the least wholesome, but he's essentially harmless.
And this isn't even the most fucked up thing in this chapter.
Before we get into the really fucked up shit, can I just bring up that the portrait that is convinced that Ron has Spattergroit, and now I'm picturing a real life version of Harry Potter where Hogwarts next year has to deal with a Spattergroit epidemic.
Oh my god.
All right, everyone, get in your barrels of eel eyes.
It's just freckles. Okay, so here's the thing. The picture, the portrait is you have Spattergroit, and Ron Weasley is deeply embarrassed and ashamed by this because it's just freckles. And here's the thing. The most attractive quality in a person is being able to, is not taking themselves seriously and being able to joke about themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And I've known a person before, dare say I dated them, who took themselves so fucking seriously that you could not joke about them. Ronald Weasley, his greatest weakness is the fact that he cannot just LOL when people are talking shit about him.
Yeah, he's too easily embarrassed.
This shit is funny. This is a funny encounter. This portrait has nothing to do with your real life.
But he's 15. You haven't figured that out when you're 15. Any 15-year-old that has figured that out is the most powerful 15-year-old in the world.
I didn't. I'm powerful.
Fred and George.
Yeah, they can pull it off.
How is Ron related to Fred and George?
Recessive genes.
Weasleys go good, good, bad, good, good, bad. The good. Children.
And then good.
And then good.
Hey, at least it was a good to end it off.
Ended on a good note. Molly's I finally got a daughter. We're done. We're done.
All right, I got what I needed out of this at last.
Okay, guys, no, we have to talk about Lockhart, though. Yeah, we really do.
The fact that they're so British that, they can't not be dragged in. The nurse is just so nice and expectant, and they're
Yeah, I for sure would be nice to see you, and then turn on my heel. You know what I mean?
I would get dragged in.
That's why I respect you.
You'd get dragged in, Mott's. Is that why you wanted to cover this chapter? Because you see yourself in the trio?
No, this whole chapter is just It's just
tag
this.
yourself in this chapter. I'm Augusta Longbottom.
I am definitely Harry, just standing here like, I don't know how to stop this from happening.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm probably a mix between Ron Weasley, Harry Potter, and Broderick Bode.
That's bad. That's a bad combo. That's a bad combo. You're doing great, actually, comparatively. Okay. Professor Lockhart is not well. He's confused. He doesn't remember the trio. He doesn't remember being a teacher.
He doesn't remember.
He
trying
has this
to kill
like.
her.
He tries this. He has this like deep compulsion to be like signing autographs. Like he knows he's famous, and that's all he's left with. He's like this empty famous vessel, and it's creepy and sad and terrifying. It's like existentially horrifying.
Yeah.
That was his entire identity.
Yeah. There's this attendant who comes to like collect him, and like you said, she's stoked to learn that he has visitors, and they get like wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
So he like Lockhart understands that like these are his fans, like everyone is his fans, but he doesn't know why he has fans. And sometimes that seems to bother him, and sometimes it doesn't seem to bother him that he doesn't remember why.
Like, all that really matters is that I am, in fact, famous. Like, he'll kind of drift off of, like, I don't remember why. But it doesn't matter because I'm beautiful.
Yeah, it's, like, very upsetting. It was very upsetting to listen to.
It would be more upsetting if this wasn't just, like, what he's like.
This is the worst...
True dead.
Worst version of Lockhart. Actually, is it?
I mean, I don't know.
It's a pretty bad version.
I mean, he's harmless.
That's
There's that.
true.
He's not attacking 12-year-olds.
Yeah, he's not attacking 12-year-olds. He's been, what do you call it? Like, disarmed?
Yeah, neutralized.
De-brained, neutralized. Okay, and then there's also this dude named Bode, who gets gifted, quote, a rather ugly plant. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, with waving tentacles.
Probably won't ever come up again. Definitely not 2 chapters from now.
Yeah, this is going to turn into a hentai porno.
Yeah, exactly. Enter...
No, one final note before we get to the trauma shit.
Okay.
There is we meet a witch, who, I believe her name is Agnes, who has, like, a really furry face. Something similar to, like, Hermione's.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even really clock that, but you're right.
The difference is Hermione gets treated at the, like, hospital wing at Hogwarts, and this is, like, permanent spell damage. So, the thing that my theory for this is that this is a failed attempt at becoming an animagus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Like, the permanent factor is what makes this is what makes this whole thing,
like the fact that she barks.
Yeah. This scene is horrifying. This is like the worst.
This is body horror.
Really
the whole thing.
Oh, I hate body horror. But...
And it's getting worse.
Me too, but Hey, Mott's, you picked this chapter.
On purpose!
It was 2 years ago, and I did not know that.
Haley and
I did not remember how bad it was.
Contractually obligated. Okay. Enter the Longbottoms.
Well, technically, they were there to begin with.
For a long time.
Okay, I'm just gonna... Neville and his grandma, Augusta, my bitch, have been visiting... Well, she's actually kind of a cunt, but she's still my bitch. They've been visiting Neville's parents. Augusta knows all about the trio from Neville. She's, like, monologuing here. She's the only person with any confidence in this moment. And she, like, realizes that Neville hasn't told his friends about the fact that his parents were tortured into insanity via the Cruciatus Curse by Bellatrix Lestrange and her husband, Rodolphus Lestrange.
Wonder why.
Yeah, but Harry knows because Dumbledore told him, I guess, right? Is that what happened?
No,
Why would you do that?
He saw their the trial. He saw the trial of...
The trial in the Pensieve.
Yeah.
He dove into someone else's memories without their consent.
Indeed,
yeah.
okay. Perfect.
He didn't know. Well, he knew not to stick his face in a bowl of magic jizz, but
shiny jizz.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's just not the most coordinated.
So basically, Harry. The gist is that Neville is feeling ashamed, Augusta is lecturing, and Harry Potter is like, I've never felt sorry for someone in all my life, including yesterday when I thought that I was being possessed by Voldemort.
Yeah, it's like this whole moment has such like Always Sunny like staring at the restaurant vibes, like, oh god, oh no, I don't know what to do. Why are we both here? I don't know how to help you.
Yeah. It's awful. It's just like Neville's sadness and trauma and like embarrassment and like what's the opposite of confidence? Like all of that is so heavy and tangible in this moment.
Yeah, this is just like the worst possible thing. And it's like I get it. I get why he doesn't talk about it because no one asked and it's hard to just bring that up.
Exactly. And also, who's going to bring it up to fucking Harry Potter and Ronald Weasley?
Right?
No, that's not the right audience.
No, that's the worst.
I wonder who Neville's best friend is right now. Like, who's Neville's best friend?
He would probably consider it Harry.
No, not Harry!
Pomona Sprout.
No one has ever cared less about Neville Longbottom than Harry.
No,
in this
Neville
book.
thinks of, if you ask Neville who his best friend is... He would probably say, I don't know, probably Harry.
Neville. He deserves so much better.
Maybe Hermione?
This is why you just have to be nice to everyone all the time, you know what I mean? Because one of them's a total Neville.
God, he's having a rough day.
I feel like Neville is the kind of kid who would have, like, their best friend is one of their teachers. Like, I feel like maybe Professor Sprout.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always
me
one.
in high school.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
No, there's...
Y'all.
Yeah.
I dropped that for a reason. Oh, trauma. Trauma.
It's trauma the book.
And it all culminates in this fucking chapter.
It culminates... you know what it culminates in.
It culminates in chapter 24, The Beetle at Bay.
That's chapter 25.
Valentine's Day chapter. That's when it culminates.
That's chapter 25. Come on.
Sorry, I did that from memory. I was guessing dates. I should never guess dates.
Loudly and confidently wrong, as always. But in terms of the trauma, it all culminates with a chewing gum wrapper.
So Neville's mom, Alice, approaches Neville and hands him an empty gum wrapper. And Neville's like, thanks, Mom. And I'm like crying.
And Augusta's like, throw that in the trash. She's given you enough to paper your room by now. And then he sticks it in his pocket.
Oh my god, stop. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, the kids feel terrible and the chapter ends with a very hilarious joke from Gilderoy Lockhart about how he didn't learn joined up writing for nothing. AKA he's trying to do some autographs.
The fucking room.
He can't read the room ever since the
I don't know if he can read
incident.
anything.
He can read joined up writing if it spells Gilderoy Lockhart.
It's only his joined up writing if it spells Gilderoy Lockhart.
I feel like, okay, so I feel like I feel like I'm not really equipped to unpack this chapter the way that it deserves to be unpacked. I feel like this is being, I feel like some parts of the chapter are approached with like a bit of an ableist lens, right? I feel like this is like black humor. I feel like is how it was intended.
Yeah, and well, like leaving aside the fact that like that's not how insanity works. That's not how torture works. But okay, like just
right.
Think it through at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
but remember who wrote this book.
I know,
and then makes sense.
I know.
And then I do just want to reiterate that I don't love the vilification of Molly Weasley. I don't love that it's like, we need someone to talk to Harry. Who's it going to be? I guess it's going to be fucking Hermione, who abandons her family to take care of these stupid teenage boys' emotional needs. Like, I don't love, but I do, you know who I do love? Augusta Longbottom. She's a bitch, dude. Like, she's mean. She abuses her grandson a little bit, but she is pulling a lot of shit together, and she's keeping it together. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of her.
She's got her hat.
Is she wearing it in this scene?
Yes, she is. I assure you. I assure you she is.
Do you have a line? Read me.
Let me find
Give me
it.
the line.
Let me find it.
Okay. My lighter says slay today.
I did not read this chapter thoroughly. I just could not.
Harry's head spun around, the curtains had been drawn back from the two beds at the end of the ward, and two visitors were walking back down the aisle between the beds. A formidable-looking old witch wearing a long green dress, a moth-eaten fox fur, and a pointed hat decorated with what was unmistakably a stuffed vulture, and trailing behind her, looking thoroughly depressed, Neville in italics.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Depressed indeed.
So that's the end of that chapter. Okay, so Mats, how are we feeling after reading that chapter that you signed on specifically in specific particular to read? You could have had any chapter, my dude.
We could have had it all.
You could have had Hagrid's Tale. That one was fun and lighthearted, you know?
No.
No.
No, I'm so sick of Hagrid, to be honest, that I think this might honestly be better.
Okay. I respect that opinion for sure.
I think, honestly, the only thing that could have made this chapter better is Dolores Umbridge.
No!
Who sadly was only mentioned once.
It actually, does feel like a relief to know she's not coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that this book does really well is, it makes Hogwarts not fun. On purpose. It does a good job of, oh god, this sucks now. This feels like real school now.
Yeah.
It's a lot less magical all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, until the Weasley twins start having a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Mats, we've been talking for a long time, but is there anything about this chapter that you want to circle back to? Anything we didn't get to mention? Any special moments?
I mean, I'm sure there are, but Hermione is apparently really bad at gift giving.
Because she gives books, right? Is that what she does?
No, she gave the planners.
Books are fine. The homework planners.
The talking planners, which
That's
you know
bad.
you would. You know you would.
Haley, I would never. I'll have you know that I've never been able to maintain a planner in my life.
Really?
Yeah, really, it's the phones are the only thing I can do. Because you can just tell your phone to do something. Yeah.
But then you have to find it.
No, all it takes is one sentence from you telling your phone to remind you, when you need to worry about this thing next. Mm-hmm. I love my phone.
That sounds like a nightmare.
I've never had a written... Anyway, I take a lot of Hermione's qualities, but this giving planners to other people, no.
Ones that talk.
That's ableist. Your friends are not neurotypical, my dude. Don't give them a
This
planner.
is the 90s. They didn't know about that yet.
My high school used to give us planners that had shitty things another day, another dollar, whatever the fuck,
yep.
Written on them.
Yep.
Back to just a bunch of my least favorite things in the world. This is the Wizarding World equivalent of giving people self-help books in Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bad.
That's not far off.
Wish it. Wait, hold on. Brian writes a bestseller. Click. Wait.
Wish it, want it, do it.
Wish it, want it, do it. Makes you better, faster, stronger. Are y'all ready to move on to plugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about plugs.
Plugs. Runal Waslib. Would you like to be found on the internet?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at m.fur. That's MDOTFUR.
What have you been watching, reading, playing, listening to recently you think the listeners of our podcast would enjoy?
I assume that people who are listening to this podcast, like me, really like just talking about and dissecting all of the problematic shit in this series. So I know that plugs typically aren't Harry Potter related, but there's a YouTube video. I'm just gonna send Christina the link to it, but it's
nice.
It's a 1 hour 45-minute video dissecting every reason why Harry Potter is garbage and why it's problematic and stuff. It's wonderful.
That's cool. That sounds like what we should cover it on our bonus show.
It is wonderful, honestly.
We do always need bonus material.
Other than
Awesome.
that, I've been reading every Hercule Poirot book.
Ooh,
Every novel.
That was actually like pretty good pronunciation, Mats. Like I feel like I've read a couple Hercule Poirot. Yeah, no. Like I feel like I've read a couple books featuring that main character, and I definitely don't pronounce that right.
But yeah, I started at the beginning of the year and I finished the last one, book 33, novel 33
There's
this
33?
morning.
Oh my god, there's 33.
So I've read 33 books this year.
Whoa. Good for you. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
That's it. That's
Agatha
everything I have
Christie,
for
right?
books. Yeah.
That's I don't feel like you said that. I feel like you just said Hercule Poirot. And
I think part of me assumes that everyone, like, that's just common knowledge, but yeah, no, it's
if
probably
you look at
not.
it, it's like Hercules Poirot. You know what I mean?
Hercule Poirot.
Hercule Poirot. Hey, Haley, what have you been doing lately that you want to recommend to the listeners?
Bong Sewer, everyone. I am going to plug Lackadaisy by Tracy J. Butler. It's a webcomic that's been going since webcomics were first invented, pretty much. It's about a struggling group of bootleggers in St. Louis during Prohibition. Also, everyone is cats. It's just, they just are. And there recently was a whole, like crowdfunded effort to create an animated short that is supposed to come out in March. A trailer was recently released. A bunch of people are involved. Prosy D, I don't know how you say it, but if you were ever on Vine or TikTok, you've seen this guy. He does a lot of voice work. So it's just looking really, really, really cool and fun. So yeah, Lackadaisy, Tracy J. Butler, the webcomic is great, and the animated short's gonna drop in March of 2023.
Wonderful.
Nice.
And that's the year that we're in right now.
Oh,
Which,
no.
yes,
Yeah, we are in 2023. Oh, no.
Well, sometimes people find us late.
It's hard. Yeah, no, it's hard to know. And today I'm going to plug a book that I've been listening to recently. That book is called You Just Need to Lose Weight and 19 Other Myths About Fat People by Aubrey Gordon. And I found this book because I listened to Maintenance Phase, a health podcast debunking, health myths like this. And she's the co-host of it. So it's been I consider myself to be like a fat person. And it's been like a cool perspective to read, It's like, it's got some cool information. But I think that anyone could benefit from reading this book. And I'm listening to the audiobook, which is narrated by the author. So that's fun as well, especially since I know her as a podcaster, So it's kind of just like an extra long episode of Maintenance Phase. But anyway, I recommend it. Links are in the show notes. Mots, thank you so much for joining us to talk about, I don't know, Christmas on the fucking clothes ward. Christmas in February. LOL. Everyone's favorite thing.
Oh, dear. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been just, as always, an absolute joy to be, joy in is a strong word, but, No,
I got it.
It's been it's been a
nice
time.
to talk to your friends, even if you're talking about trauma.
Exactly.
Mots, earlier today, I was thinking about the very first time that I read an email from you aloud on the podcast. I pronounced your name wrong, and Taylor had to quietly be like, you pronounced this guy's name wrong. And I was thinking, I was like, wow, our friendship has come so far since then, and I'm very grateful for you. You're always willing to come chat nerdy shit, and I just love it.
Also, I will say that you are one of the very few people that I have corrected on my name pronunciation myself.
Always correct me. I'm a linguist and a writer and an editor. Always correct me.
Perfect. Also, not to be that guy, Trauma. Haley, you forgot to mention where people can find you on Twitter, so
wow,
I'm basically
thanks
the guy who
so much, Mods.
Reminds the teacher.
You're doing the podcast wrong. I've listened to it so much, and you're doing it wrong. No, you're right. You're right. I'm
the kind of kid who reminds the teacher to assign homework.
Wow.
Yeah, for the time being, you can find me on Twitter at @TheWrit2Wit.
Are we still doing Twitter?
I guess.
For as long as Twitter continues to exist.
Here's the thing. Twitter's the one that is the least annoying to me. You know what I want to explode? I want Instagram to explode. It's very tedious for me to have to be on Instagram.
Yeah, same.
Twitter's fun. You just be like, beep, boop, boop. Whenever you have a funny thought and you're like, oh, well, I'm funny.
I hate that everything's backwards on there.
Backwards?
Yeah, everything's backwards. Anytime you want to, like, read through something, you have to go, like all the way to the bottom and then read up.
I can't possibly have time for this. Love you so much. Each and every one of you. Mots, you're the best. Haley, you're the second best.
I'm comfortable with that.
And that's the end of the episode.
Hey!
Bum, 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 bum. That's it, potheads. Thanks for listening to the Restricted Section. This podcast is produced and hosted by me, Christina Kahn. Our theme music was produced by Ryan Kahn. Our logo was designed by Michael Hardison. Please connect with us on Twitter @RestrictedPod, on Instagram @RestrictedSectionPod, on Facebook @RestrictedSectionPod, or in our Facebook group, The Restricted Section Detention Crew. Join our Patreon to get access to our Discord server, our bonus episodes, and other cool perks. We're also very happy to be a member of Deus Ex Media, where all you fucking nerds can find all kinds of fandom podcasts to suit your fancy.
What would you do if there was a terrifying prophecy about you?
Or you had to go on a perilous quest to save a friend.
Or everything you loved was in danger, and the world was about to end?
Whoa, slow down, Charlie. You know what to do when all that crazy stuff happens, right?
Call Ghostbusters?
No. You listen to Of the Eldest Gods.
Right. Sorry, Ray. Y'all can listen to our podcast about the Rick Riordan books.
We'll cover each chapter and talk about some of the fucked up mythological context.
And we'll probably get cursed by Zeus.
Let's hope that doesn't happen this season.
Catch Oteg on all your podcast platforms.
And eat some blue food while you listen.
Wish us luck while we survive the apocalypse.
Charlie.
What?
Chapter 23. Christmas on the Closed Ward. Was this why Dumbledore would no longer meet Harry's eyes? Did he expect to see Voldemort staring out of them, afraid, perhaps, that their vivid green might turn suddenly to scarlet, with cat-like slits for pupils? Harry remembered how the snake-like face of Voldemort. I can't do this.
Deus Ex Media.